Wouldn't you love to finally be healed from all the things that you struggle with to arrive at that peak? That day will never come. Sorry to break it to you. Welcome back to the Yardie Yogi Perspective, a space for healing, self discovery, and growth. I'm your host, Jahdea Kedeche. And on this episode, we are tackling the topic of healing is a journey, not a destination. I want you to know that as long as we live and breathe, we're on a journey. So as long as we live, we will be healing. If not from old stuff, from new stuff. Life is a journey, healing is life journey. I'm not a therapist or a trauma expert. I'm just sharing from my personal experience and perspective that I've been learning on my own healing journey. So when I think of healing being a journey, the main thing that comes up for me is that I have lower back tension, lower back pain. It's not chronic, but it's constant. So it's like this tension that's in the lower half of my back. I in 2016, as a J1 student, I was here in the US riding my bike on my way to work one day, Wendy's, and I was hit from a car. A car hit me. I fell on the top of the car and then to the ground. And it was just an interesting experience. This was in South Carolina, and immediately, police came and ambulance came, and all the people there involved were white men. And I remember them pulling the driver aside to talk to him out of earshot from me. And I'm like, I knew. But I was in pain then, and there was no fight in me. I wouldn't have won anyway. So they told me that it was my fault because I failed to keep proper lookout. And so they asked me if I wanted to go to the hospital. And I said no, because I was afraid. We were told that we have some health insurance coming in as a student, exchange student, but it's not full insurance. And so I was just scared. I was like, no, I don't want to go because we're here working $7, $25 an hour, and the amount of hours determine how much money you make. And I'm here trying to hustle my school fee to pay my university fees back home, and it's like 100 and something dollars per week for rent here that you're sharing with 5 other people. It was just a complete mess. And out of fear, I was like, no, I can't. They dropped me off at my apartment. My bike was like twisted up, and they dropped me off on my twisted up bike, and that was it. I even got a call from the guy's insurance later that they were gonna try to sue me or something. And I'm like, oh my God. And I had to rest for the first half of that day. And by the evening, I had to show up to my evening job. I mean, I could have not gone, but in thinking about, like, literally nothing is free in this country, I cannot afford to lose money. Like, this is the only time I thought of it that way, because quite literally, your survival depended on how many hours you were working. And so, yeah, I had to show up to work later that night. Fast forward, I think I felt like I recovered from that. I remember walking up the stairs. I could barely walk up the stairs. I was crying so hard. I just wanted to go home and be with my mom. Like, I just wanted to go home to Jamaica, that is. And I think I recovered from that, but I never fully recovered. That is the time that I can pinpoint, my lower back being a thing. So while in Jamaica finishing up my undergraduate degree, I remember I had just headaches and stuff. I went to the doctor. I was told that, what's happening here is just emotional pain. You just have a lot of stuff bottled up inside that you've not been dealing with, and it's now starting to manifest as physical pain. Because I would have headaches that the only time it would stop was when I was sleeping. Sure, I was studying, and it's a very stressful period in my life. So that made sense. But it was frustrating because it's not something that I could just snap my fingers and I'm healed. Like, okay, I'm just not gonna stress and I'll be free from headache. I'll be fine. No. I was so paranoid. I had braids in and I went home and I took the braids out because I thought my hair was tight and I just needed to release and be free. My skull needed to be free and maybe I'll feel better. No, it was just stress. It was really just stress. So that really opened up what has now led to even more awareness of the mind body spirit connection and just how much emotional pain, how much what's happening internally can affect us physically in our bodies. Yes, so when it comes on to my lower back, I have a physical trauma, but I also have sexual trauma from growing up, even into adulthood. And then just living a life mostly in survival mode, having to push myself to work hard, to strive, to provide for my basic needs. That is a lot of root chakra energy. But yes, a lot of our survival and sexual and emotional feeling needs weren't met growing up. That has put a lot of pressure on me that I'm carrying around in my lower back. And it gets deeper than that too, because then I'm aware that as a woman that came from a woman, that came from a woman, we are the people that came before us in flesh, blood, and spirit. We are connected to them. And so their pain, we're also carrying that on generationally as well. So it's just a lot. It's very deep. So I've been doing yoga for about 5 years now. And I can't believe I'm still saying that I still have lower back pain. It has not gone away. I wished I would have done yoga for 6 months, a year, and I'm completely healed. That is not the case for me at all. It is still here and it is still present. But I'm being gentle and patient with myself, knowing that a lot of the work that I'm trying to do, a lot of this healing work, it's not an overnight thing. A lot of the things that we've gone through, it wasn't an overnight thing. It was years, it was decades, and perhaps generations as well. So that's me making peace with it. And it's a reminder to be present. Because whenever I feel like, oh, I don't want to do yoga today, I just don't feel like it, my lower back will remind me. It will absolutely remind me. And I know that yoga is such an healing tool because it is one of the only things where I feel release that I don't feel doing any other thing. Any other thing. And it resonates because it's not just a physical thing, it's a mental thing, it's a spiritual thing. So that mind body spirit approach that makes yoga a science, I am completely obsessed with it and will forever be an advocate. So why is it that we think that healing is a destination? I can tell you. Because we are so desperate to get to a place where we're just over it. You know what? I'm just over it. I've arrived and I just want to move on with my life. I wish it were that easy. Sure, in doing the work, we're gonna get to places where we have moved past or we've managed to overcome major challenges. We've managed to heal like major wounds. But it is not like a set stagnant state that you get at, and once you've arrived there, that is it. No. You might you're What it means is that you've gotten to a place where you it doesn't impact you the way that it normally would. It doesn't have that hold on you anymore. But it doesn't mean that you won't be triggered again. It doesn't mean that someone can't push the button and re-trigger it, earth it up, as we would say in Jamaica. Yeah, so whether that's new challenges that we face as adults or it's the triggering of things that we've gone through perhaps when we were younger as children. Another reason why we want to think of healing as a destination is that we want to go back to who we were before whatever happened to us happened to us. That's not gonna happen. That's not possible. It's funny because the more I learned and the more I expand myself and my consciousness, sometimes I'm like, I wish I didn't know. I just wish I didn't know. But I can't do that. So I now have a responsibility to show up as a version of myself that I am right now, as challenging as it may be, because I already know I have the awareness and I cannot just pretend that it doesn't exist. So it's now a responsibility. So you cannot go back to the person you were before the trauma or the painful thing happened. In thinking about inner child healing, because I learned pretty early on that to heal myself, a lot of the wounds that I have to heal can be related back to my childhood experiences. In trying to cultivate or to visualize the healed version of myself as an adult, it's important to look back and think to what the childhood version of myself that was joyful, that was happy, that was free, that was liberated, what was she like? How did she feel? What were the things that made her happy? When you can do that, when you can even try to embody that feeling, because that inner child never leaves you. You get older physically in the body, but it's still you. And so healing will never be a destination because you cannot leave your younger self behind. It's still a part of you. It's still within you. So the work will always be constant to make sure that you're healing that person. So you're not I don't want to say victim, but you're not a hostage to the things that happened to you. You're not a hostage to feeling the things that happened to you 25 years ago like it just happened again today. Because that is no way to live. We want to get to a place, and it's not a destination, but we want to get to a place within ourselves where we have the awareness to see that, oh, this thing is coming up and I know exactly where it's coming from. And so what I can do in the moment is, having learned tools, how can I respond to this from a place where I'm genuinely taking care of myself? I'm giving myself what I need. I'm giving that younger version of me what she needed or what she needs right now. So healing is cyclical. It's not linear. When we're healing, it's not that, all right, I've healed this and I'm going to heal the next thing and then I'm going to heal the next thing, and then it's not going to be like that. Sometimes you'll heal one thing and you'll move on to another thing that's more present. And then perhaps you have to come back to this thing because something in your external environment brought or reminded you of that. It triggered that in you, and you have to deal with that again. It can be like setbacks, sure, if you allow it to, but you can also think about it as like failing forward. So the more something appears in your life, the more you see or experience a similar type of feeling that is painful, it's most likely a pattern, and it's drawing your attention to something that you need to address. So when it comes down to healing, once again, I am not a therapist. I am not here to diagnose anybody with anything. I just know that we're all human beings, we're all feeling beings, and we will never not feel. As we try to live life as the best version of ourselves that feels the best about ourselves, I want to share some tools to help you on your journey, some tools that have been helping me on my journey. And yeah. So the main thing is tapping into mind body practices. So, practices that allow you to link your mind with your body. And you know where I'm going with this? You know where I'm going with this? Yoga as a mindful movement. And yoga doesn't have to be the extravagant, difficult poses. You can just think about it as stretching. Moving your body slowly in tune with your breath. But it's nice when you can do yoga where you're challenging yourself, challenging the physical body. And when you're challenging the physical body, you see what comes up in the mind. I think yoga is a good gateway practice because it can be gentle. It can be really gentle. And it can be gentle while you're building strength. So I love the balance that that you can cultivate with that. You know, you can be balancing strength and softness at the same time. Rest. Allowing yourself to just relax, not do anything. Mentally relax. Emotionally relax. Physically relax. Give yourself some self-compassion. You deserve it. And another thing when it comes down to healing is finding people, finding community, finding people who are also on healing journeys and want to help you, want to support you on your journey. Because there's a saying that you can't heal where you were hurt. And that's true. So I know it's difficult to separate ourselves from the spaces where we're hurt a lot of the times because it's almost bittersweet, because some of those places are also the places that we've received love and acceptance. So that's more of a personal thing that you have to do for yourself to figure out which spaces are nurturing and overall there to support your highest, best interest. So as we move into tea time and I sip on my herbal tea, I want to repeat some affirmations to you. So sit tall, rooting up from your spine, imagining the crown of your head lengthening towards the sky, rolling your shoulder blades down your back. A deep breath in, filling your belly with air. Exhaling with a sigh. I release the need for perfection and embrace growth at my own pace. My past does not define me. My present is filled with possibility. Each challenge I face is an opportunity for deeper self discovery. Let those soak in. To recap what we've discussed on today's episode, healing, there's no arrival or no destination to get to. I'm sorry to break it to you. Things will always resurface and recircle, but hopefully you're becoming stronger, more resilient. You have the tools to be able to nurture yourself with self-love and self-compassion. Be open to exploring, to finding more tools, because we're all on a journey here. So be open to connecting with other like-minded individuals, finding support and love in communities, in relationships that are here to fuel your growth and to nurture you, to water you, and to remind you that there's always more growth, more healing to be done. We're all on that journey together. Because one space that I don't want to be in, that I cannot afford to put myself in, is spaces where people are not open to growing, people are not open to healing. I can't do that. I cannot do that to myself. You need to have an awareness as to which environments will be the best while you're on your journey. And of course, it won't be immediate. It's gonna take time to find your soul tribe. I'm still searching for my soul tribe, but I'm also open and surrendering to just showing up in doing my soul work, that the people that are meant for me, they'll find me. So if this episode brought any value to you, share it with someone who may need to hear this message. Thank you for being here with me. Follow me on Instagram at the Yardie Yogi, or on TikTok. Share a comment. Let me know if any of this resonated. Let me know any thoughts, any feedback. Alright? Until next time, you don't know the tingo. We're finding our flow. Until next time, stay rested and stay resilient.